Okay.
Okay.
Anyway.
Hi, Philip.
Well, welcome to Always Looking Up and a very special edition episode with my beautiful mother here, Margie Tiemann. Welcome to 9 Mile.
Well, thank you, Philip. It's good to be here.
You're very welcome, Mother. It's good to be here.
Love surrounds me in the eye of the storm.
My name is Philip Stokey, and this is my beautiful wife, Kate.
We are storm chasers. We may be a little bit out of the ordinary, but that doesn't stop us from always looking up at God's amazing creations that He paints in the sky.
Come follow us on our adventures as we share our passion of the weather and most of all the power of our great Lord.
And don't forget to always look up.
In the eye of the storm, you remain in control. In the middle of the war, you guard my soul. You alone are the anchor when my sails are torn. Your love surrounds me in the eye of the storm.
Well, welcome to Always Looking Up and a very special edition episode with my beautiful mother here, Margie Tiemann. Welcome to 9 Mile.
Well, thank you, Philip. It's good to be here.
You're very welcome, Mother. It's good to be here. Anyway, she's visiting over the Memorial Day weekend, so we thought it'd be a great idea to get some insight into what drives you to always look up. I know growing up, my mom was always waking me up at 2 o'clock in the morning in the chance of seeing the northern lights or just stars and the bright
A lunar
moon.
eclipse.
A lunar eclipse, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what drew you into always looking up, especially the stars?
Well, especially the stars, but the scriptures say, I lift mine eyes until the hills. So you have to look up there. In fact, there's a nice hill right
It's a
behind us.
very nice hill.
Yes, there's a beautiful hill. Grandpa Norm, my father, was a pilot. And so that's one of the reasons why you wanted to look up at all the planes going by and the weather, because weather is extremely important to pilots. And he was very interested in what was going on in the skies. My first memory of looking up with my father was when we ran outside, just like in the great movie October Sky, to see Sputnik go over. The entire neighborhood was outside looking up to see Sputnik. And I also remember one night when in the middle of the night, Dad came, woke up all of us kids, took us outside, and he had sleeping bags laid out in the lawn, and we watched the northern lights. Pretty exciting.
In Otis Orchards?
In Otis Orchards, yes, we did.
They happen here.
I must say, though, the northern lights there were the shimmering white. We didn't have the colors.
Yeah.
Unless my memory just is in black and white, which is possible.
Potentially. I thought everything back in the day was just black and white. I didn't know there was color. Everything was black and white.
But we always look up. And so I tried to bring that into your life, Philip. And that's why if I heard there was a lunar eclipse at 2 o'clock in the morning, we had to go out and see it. And right now I have an app on my phone for the space station.
Okay, I was going to ask about that.
Yep, so that's pretty exciting when the space station flies over. And somehow, I do not understand it, but it's the same time in both Spokane, 9 Mile Falls, and Sammamish over in Seattle. I can call you and say, hey, it's going over now, and you see it the same time I do.
It's interesting to think sometimes just if you're far away from people, even across the country, it's like you're looking up at the same moon.
Yes.
And then the space station too. I get texts all the time, go out now. I'm like, okay. What app do you use for that?
It's Spot the Station.
Spot the Station.
Spot the Station. And I get a text about 12 hours in advance.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I use Skyview Lite to where I can find it as well, but it doesn't tell me when I can expect to see it. Well, it kind of does, but that's a good app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I remember you waking me up at probably 2 in the morning to see the northern lights out on the west side. And again, it wasn't colorful.
No,
but it just seemed like passing clouds, like real fast. And no one else woke up. I don't know how you got me up.
Because even as a kid, you wanted to look up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Always looking up.
Always look up. Always look up. It's a good thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, any other kind of weather phenomenons that I know you love geological formations, not weather, but weather does dictate what happens to those geological formations.
Yes, it does. When we get the torrential rains and it washes out the hillside, it's amazing the force that God exerts around us and how He pushes our lives the way He wants them to be. Sometimes we push back a little too hard, but it's there.
Kind of like the 9 Mile Dam. I mean, this water was 12 feet lower, and there's like the force to hold that back is a dam on the other side, but just the power of the water and how quickly it can rise and fall at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Water's crazy. Very powerful. Same with the wind. It's always cool going to places like Zion out in Utah and even like the North Cascades or Glacier in Yellowstone, seeing the differences and changes every year from the power of what God's done, especially with the weather. So
Right. And it's fascinating how little pockets can have their own weather systems. I think that the Seattle area has a lot of strange little pockets of weather. It's hard to forecast there, but it's fun to watch over there the weather systems around Mount Rainier.
lenticulars, sign of changes to come.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of in a pocket here, being with this water and the mountains on both sides. Storms tend to come straight from the south or north and just kind of explode around the lake
Go
and
around
then
you,
continue
yes.
on. So we're kind of sheltered down in this little pocket. I know up on the bluffs, though, man, the wind you can hear is just crazy.
Right.
Very powerful. And we'll go up there, and you've seen the videos, and in the opener to these videos, you see Kate and I up there holding an anemometer. Just we're leaning
Exactly.
into the wind. So
Right. The wind can support you.
yep,
It's fun.
just
well,
like Jesus.
you remember we have pretty amazing windstorms over on our side too.
Like once a year. Always around like October time.
Yep.
You always have a good windstorm.
Knocks out the power for a week or
Yep.
two.
And if my Uncle Kenny's in town, just rub his belly. I swear, it's a real
And you'll
thing.
get the nice storm.
We can talk about that later, but Uncle Kenny, he is the storm magnet.
Well,
That's for sure.
he's from Minnesota and they have good storms there.
Yep, we would go there as kids and just rub his belly, and next thing you know, we'd have a good thunderstorm
Right.
that apparently I was afraid of back in the day. I don't believe it.
He was, believe me. Yes.
No. Now I'm standing out there with a metal tripod, trying to get as close as possible, hold onto a pole in the wind and fly a little bit.
Well, I do love looking at the sky. I love looking up at the blue sky through your pine trees here. But nighttime is my favorite time to look up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the Seattle area, there's too much light pollution, so I can't see a lot.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite memories was driving through Minnesota in the middle of the night. And we stopped the car and got out and sat on the hood of the car. And you could just hear the night creatures, the frogs, the crickets, all around. Nothing but silence and looking up at the stars. And you couldn't find a constellation at all because there were so many stars.
I remember that.
And you cannot count them.
Yeah. I remember the time that we drove to Minnesota and we were going through Montana.
Yes.
And you and I were the only ones up. And just being able to see shooting stars from the driver's seat with headlights on, it's like that's how dark.
Yes.
That's how dark it is, but again, with God's light, I mean, these are shining lights for you to see,
Right.
shining down on you.
Now, shooting stars are another thing that Grandpa would wake us up for in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Certain times of the year when you have the showers, you could just stand it, and Grandpa could find all of them. There's one, and There, and I'd miss them.
That's like Kate and I. We're both laying back, and there it is. No, it isn't. There it is. No, it
No,
isn't.
it's gone.
Oh, yeah. I love you, babe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we do have a breakfast cooking for us at home,
we do.
but it's been great chatting with my mom,
Thank you,
and,
Philip.
talking about the weather and always looking up, and just do the same. So you guys have a great day, and
Always look up.
you're fired.
You got it. I'm out of here.
You're out of here.
And Philip, that chair was wet.
But just when I thought it was darkest, the sun began to rise. Canyons wide, oceans deep, can't contain all your love for me. No matter how high or far I reach, there's no end to your love for me.
Yeah.
You know, my legs are short. They don't fit the chair.
Can you don't sit all the way back.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
breathe. All right.
We can start with a prayer. That always helps
Yeah.
me calm down. Okay.
Let's hear it.
All right. Okay.
You pray? You didn't pray out loud.
No, I didn't pray
Okay.
out loud.
Well, Mama doesn't
God
pray out
could
loud.
hear me.
God heard it.
Yeah. That was the purpose. Sorry, I wasn't.
Well, hold
praying
on a
to
second.
you.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna... Okay. Anyway.